Hello and Happy New Year. How are you doing? Hope you're well. Anyway, I know this week I said we'd be talking about the Myst series, but I filmed the video and I did not like it. I did not have enough to talk about. So you know what? Instead, we're doing my top 10 games of 2023. So, I was going to say 2 rules for this. Number 1, I had to have bought them last year. They don't necessarily have to have come out last year. I have to have bought them. But this is mostly new games. There are a couple that aren't. Secondly, no re-releases. So no ports, no remakes, none of that crap. Otherwise, I'll just be going, oh yeah, you know. It's like one year I did my top 10 list and Stubbs the Zombie came out on top, which I bought that game on the Xbox. Come on. Anyway, we'll just kick through 3 honourable mentions. Power Slave, Exhumed. This did come out last January. It was released for pre-order by Limited Run. Got it a few months later. It's Exhumed / Power Slave, but it's better. It's better because it's a combination of everything from the PS1 and the Saturn ports of this game, and it's so bloody good. It's so bloody good. But it is unfortunately a re-release. Much like Quake 2. I've never been a huge Quake 2 fan. I haven't. I played that originally on the release that came with Quake 4 back in the day. That's where I originally played Quake 2. And you know what? It was not my cup of tea. In fact, I'd argue it was extremely poor and extremely boring. But Quake 2 on the Switch, with everything on it, get it. Get that version. It's amazing. It's the best way to play Quake. I'm not kidding. It's the best way to play Quake 2. Even over maybe Quake 1, but we'll see. I will be doing a Quake video this year, which will be exciting. Very exciting. Okay, now for a game that actually came out last year. Minecraft Legends. Yeah. I liked this game a lot. A lot. In fact, I thought it was fantastic. It's just, this is not the best version to play. The Switch version, once again, is not the best way to play Minecraft Legends, the same way it's not the best way to play Mortal Kombat 1, the same way it's not the best way to play Arkham Knight. It just isn't, it doesn't run very well. It runs like shit. Unfortunately, it runs absolutely terribly. So, yeah. Anyway, that's honorable mentions. Moving on to the stack. And number 10, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. Got this for Christmas. You will be seeing my Christmas games list at some point. Probably next week, actually. I'll do the games I got for Christmas, which will be lovely. Next week. Got it. Next week, you'll be seeing the games I got for Christmas. Not many, but good. They're all good. Every single one. Very nice. Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. If you've played Jet Set Radio, you've played Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. If you've played Jet Set Radio Future, you've definitely played Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. This is the I Am 8-bit version. So it came with the sleeve. It came with a DLC code that I can't use. Some stickers of the graffiti and a graffiti booklet. Don't buy that version. Don't buy that version. It was not worth it. It was like 30 quid more. And you know what? Don't. Because whilst I love this game, I think it's bloody amazing. I Am 8-bit are such a fucking rip-off. They are such a fucking rip-off. If they announce a game, it will be out on Amazon for like 30 quid in like 2 months. Just wait. But yeah, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. Fucking good game. Fucking good game. Bloody good game. At the moment, stuck horribly on a skills battle, which I do miss the spray ones, the spray battles from Jet Set Radio Future. But we're getting a Jet Set Radio remake, hopefully this year, actually. So, we'll see about that. We'll see if that's any good. Please, Sega. Number 9, a game I bought very early on in the year. A game that screams PS3 like no game I've bought ever. It screams PlayStation 3. And you know what? I've played it maybe twice, but it sticks in my mind so bloody much, and that is Wanted Dead. This game is so fucking good. It's so fucking good. It's completely and utterly insane. And it's ludicrously difficult unless you cheat and use Neko-chan mode. Yes, Neko-chan mode. So, it has a 99 Luftballons karaoke simulator. It has a man randomly narrating the history of ramen in a thick Australian accent. And it's... bearing in mind that karaoke simulator is only for 99 Luftballons. And most importantly, its advertising basically went, oh, here's how we make lasagna. Make sure you don't use the hipster shit puree. That's the joke that won me over and made me buy the game. 100% is. So congratulations, whoever the hell is on... oh, well, their name. Hoi. I know it's 1,101, but whatever. Good luck. Good luck there. So, I've been kind of on a bit of a 7th gen kick here this year, or games that remind me very heavily of 6th and 7th gens. So, for example, Jet Set Radio Future in Bomber Cyberpunk, the PS3 in Wanted Dead, and Fear in Trepang 2. It's so good, apart from like one dickish moment that kind of made me put the game down for about a month. But it's just basically Fear if you also had invisibility and additional superpowers. And you know what? It's so good, because any game that lets me bullet time dual wielding shotguns, yeah, immediately on my Game of the Year list. Just so much on my Game of the Year list. Anyway, there was a shooter in October when I got Trepang 2 that did win out. It's a game that my wife hates on a cellular level, because it's disgusting and juvenile and childish, and it's Postal 4. I loved Postal 4. It's janky, it's over the top. You get a gun called the Fornicator. You can shove a cat on the end of it and use it as a silencer for a shotgun, which makes no sense. You can throw pigeons at people and recreate Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. Wonderful. Insane game. Cheats made it so much better. And, of course, it has Civvy 11 in it. So, naturally, I shot him in the face and pissed on his corpse. But, that's not... You know what? Postal 4's in there purely for childish humour, and it's delightful. It is a whole barrel of fun. Go buy this. Go buy this game. Or pirate it, because if you can't afford it, they'd rather you pirate it than buy it off G2A. Thank you, Running with Scissors. Moving on. This game I'm cheating. So I pre-ordered this in 2022, but I got it in 2023, and that is Inscription. This game is amazing. My wife and I, because we were so excited about actually playing the game, we made it. So the creator, who is Daniel Mullins, he is now working on, I think it's Pony Island 2. I think that's his new game. Pony Island 2 released some games. Released some cards for Inscription. Just released them. And we printed off a whole load of them, like 2 decks worth, for about 30 quid. 30 quid printing, which is insane. And then we went and bought a bunch of card holders to hold the cards together, and yeah, made up our own rules and argued about it for about 3 hours. But yeah, solid game. Wonderfully meta. This does have the Casey's mod expansion that he did, which is great, because I think a lot of us would agree the first chunk of the game is the best part, because you're playing against Leshy. It's basically a roguelike in a way that I don't despise on a cellular level. And you know what? Great. Buy that game. Buy Inscription. Very good. Now, these next two are hugely cheating. They are hugely cheating. And the reason they're hugely cheating is because I bought them years ago digitally. But I've only been able to get them this year physically. What Remains of Edith Finch and Firewatch. Now, I'm a big walking simulator guy. Hell, I went out of my way to get Dear Esther, which is why I am now happy to own. And I've even got Gone Home on the Switch, courtesy of my beautiful wife. But this year I was able to secure two very expensive walking simulators in the form of What Remains of Edith Finch and its extremely depressing ending, and Firewatch with its extremely depressing ending. There's a theme. There's a theme with walking simulators, and that is depression. But yeah, very solid games. If you're going to buy them nowadays, maybe don't track down the limited edition versions because they're very, very expensive. They're hideously expensive. I mean, this is limited run 32 overall. I mean, it's an older one, and it's an expensive one. I wish I bought it sooner. But here we are. If you're going to play them because they're amazing. And I'd heartily recommend, Dear Esther, but that's a different kettle of fish. So, we are down to my final three. So, these are two of these are games that came out this year. One of them is not. But we'll get to that because at number 3 it's Pikmin 4. I've been trying to get into Pikmin for years. And I mean 4 years. I've been... Ever since I've owned a GameCube, I've been trying to get into Pikmin. I hated Pikmin 1, largely because of its completely bullshit 30-day limit. I did actually quite get into Pikmin 2, largely because they went, hey, you know that bullshit limit? Yeah, we've removed it. Great, so we can just collect shit. Exactly, fantastic. That's all I want to do in a Pikmin game. Then 3 came along and it went, hey, we've added 3 new captains. Okay. We've added the bullshit time limit back. Fuck off. And resource management. Definitely what I want when I'm playing a Pikmin game. So you know what? I think a big part of it was I bought the Wii U release, which is the single worst way to play Pikmin 3. Pikmin 4 comes out. It goes, hey, there's no limit. There's no time limit bull. None of it. None of it at all. Absolutely no bull. Good. You're collecting people. Here's a Dandori battle mode. Here's a dog. And you know what? I wasn't going to use the dog, but A, you need to, and B, dude, he's versatile to the point where I genuinely think I'm going to struggle to go back and play earlier Pikmin games. I'm going to need an Ochi if ever Pikmin 5 comes out. And you know what? If it does, I'm buying it. I'm definitely buying it. This game is fucking amazing. Best thing Nintendo has released this year, in my opinion. I haven't played Tears of the Kingdom. Nor will I. We're down to our final 2. But number 2 is that game that technically was released years ago. But it's Tabs. It's Totally Accurate Battle Simulator. It was released physically by those wonderful bastards at Super Rare Games. And you know what? It was so worth waiting for. It was so worth waiting such a long time. I've even been playing Horse. If you don't know what Horse is, check out Angry Tom. He's done a lot of Tabs Horse. It's basically a round-based mission. Round-based multiplayer mode where you put down, say, 1,000 points of troops versus your opponent's 1,000 points of troops. They dig out. Whoever wins, the enemy gets a H. And then you kind of go down like that. Whoever gets to horse first loses. And you add in some spins and clever wheels and all that nonsense. But you know what? That's been surprisingly popular with everybody I played it with. From my wife to my friends. And you know what? I'd like to think they all really like it because this game is very, very good. I even went out and bought extra cards because I've been waiting for that game for such a long time. Turns out, unfortunately, there was a unit cap. Naughty. there was a unit cap on the Switch version initially. And I was like, that's bollocks. Turn it off. Because you can turn it off, which is great. Because honestly, was not having that. That's kind of what bumped it up to Game of the Year for me until we got to Christmas. But before then, I'm going to talk about some of the games that this year I loathed. I absolutely hated. My top 5 worst games of the year. Number 5, Atomic Heart. Never have I gone from loving a game to hating a game so quickly. Literally 5 minutes. Prior to that, it had been Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild took 20 minutes. It took 20 minutes of scrounging around for ammo. Fuck off. For Atomic Heart, it took me fighting against a robot that killed me every single time for a solid 5 minutes. And I went, you know what? Fuck you. If the rest of the game is going to be this miserable to play, I'm not playing it. And I was largely right. It was, yeah, from everything I've seen online, just bullet sponge hell. No thanks. Fuck off. DLCs look fun though, so maybe in time. Number 2, Forspoken. Number 4, Forspoken. Terrible game. Dreadful. Don't play it. Character is just... This is the writer of the fucking Legacy of Kain series. Some of the best written games ever. And I mean ever. Best acted, best written, ever. Kane's entire speech about the turn of a coin still roots itself firmly in my memory. And to hear a character go, I didn't just do that. I did not just do that. For a solid 30 seconds makes me want to cut off my own face, send it to Amy Hennig and go, what the fuck are you doing? Anyway, miserable game. Do not play it. These next 3 are going to be heavily controversial because they're all Nintendo games. Number 1, Metroid Prime Remastered. I fucking hate Metroid. I fucking hate Metroid. And a big part of why I didn't like the original Prime so much was its control system. I'd hoped that would get fixed when they were like, oh, okay, we've given you the ability to look up and down. Fantastic. No. I can't. At the time, it actually made me sell the entire Metroid series. And I had a good chunk of the games. I had the whole Prime trilogy. I had Hunters. Hunters is the only one I kept because it's the only one I could tolerate. I got rid of Federation Force. I got rid of Other M. I got rid of Dread. Dread I hated. Dread was fucking terrible and garbage. But yeah, moving on. Number 2 was, again, going to be highly controversial. Advance Wars 1 and 2 rebooted camp. Fucking awful game. Like, I know a lot of people really like that game purely for the nostalgia from the early 2000s, where playing a turn-based strategy game on the Game Boy Advance was a novel concept. But you know what? Since then, I've been heavily spoiled by Wargroove, and it really, really made me fucking hate Advance Wars. I think with Wargroove, there was better balancing. Its story wasn't asininely mundane. Its skirmish mode wasn't tedious and broken and just fucking aggravating to play. Like, it felt for every fucking inch of ground you gain, it was like fighting in the Somme. You throw away so many units and so much time and ultimately for nothing. So yeah, that game went like that. Number 1, worst game of the year. Flat out worst, and then we'll get back to the best game of the year. Because they bookended the year for me. Fire Emblem Engage. Fire Emblem Engage. If you've watched my Fire Emblem video, great. You're one of 8 people who did. So thank you to those 8 people. If you haven't, go watch it. I hate Engage with a burning passion. It took everything that Three Houses did, from having multiple routes, enjoyable characters, character design that doesn't make you want to chew your own eyeballs out, and a story that didn't make you want to go to town on your own gonads with a pair of pliers, and did the opposite. It had a linear story, a terrible campaign, miserable gameplay, constantly respawning enemies that was just flat out unfair. And you know what? It's just a shit game that I only still own because That way I'll never buy it again. I'll never go, maybe I should give it another chance. No, I'll just look at it on the shelf and go, what a piece of crap, and then I'll leave it there. But we're not going to end this video on a negative, because it is a new year. It is a new year of hopefully better video games for me than Fire Emblem Engage. Hopefully better prospects as well. But we ended last year with RoboCop Rogue City. So fucking good. I love Teon. Teon previously made Terminator Resistance, and that game is such a love letter to Terminator in 1,000 different ways. Completely ignores 3 through to 6 because pretty much every Terminator, well, it's the 80s sci-fi curse. The first 2 films are good, the rest are fucking terrible. And yeah, they are. Yeah, they fucking are. Except maybe Prey, from what I've heard. But they came along again and went, hey, you like Terminator? Yes. Do you like RoboCop? Yes. Play as RoboCop. This is such a power fantasy game, and it's so bloody awesome. It's so bloody awesome. If you haven't bought it yet, go fucking buy it. It's Game of the Year. End of story. I don't give a crap about Baldur's Gate 3. I didn't bloody play it. I didn't play Starfield. That game can shuffle off a cliff for all I care. But that's it. We are done with my top 10 games and top 5 worst games of 2023. If you've watched through to the end, thank you very much. Make sure you click subscribe. We're aiming to get more subscribers. That would be nice. Share this with your friends. That would be lovely. Give us a thumbs up. That would be even better. And thank you. I hope you have a wonderful new year, or had a wonderful new year, depending on when you're watching this. And you continue to have a wonderful new year. And that is me signing off.